guys on the flip side. Thank you and God bless. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of This Week in Reselling.
He's after dark for sure.
He's definitely in the dark.
He's in the dark.
Yeah, Brennan's after dark for sure. But guys, here we have our friends Tony and Lysandra with ilovediscounts.com, big whatnot sellers. If you didn't get to listen to the first episode, go back and listen to that because there's a lot of really great information. But we're here. This is kind of where we let our hair down, Tony. I don't know if you got a nice little head of hair behind there. Oh, baby.
Whoa.
Look at that. Ow. Look at that. That's why Lysandra fell in love with you, Tony.
Hair's down.
Was short when I met him, and there was no beard.
There you go.
There was a lot less hair.
What?
Really?
We need to see those pictures.
One of the stipulations was I would have to either shave twice a day or not at all. I've not shaved in almost 7 years.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Let it go.
Twice a day or not at all?
That's
the stubble grows fast.
That's great. How did you guys meet?
Casino. I used to be a craps dealer at a little casino in Rising Sun, Indiana.
And I was a gambler.
And he's a craps gambler. And that's how we met. My nickname used to be Legs before he knew my name.
Legs.
I would ask to see your legs, Lysandra, but all respect, Tony. All respect.
So it's funny. I mean, when she was dealing, she would always wear these pencil skirts and the red lipstick and the stilettos. And I came into her casino sometimes with a friend of mine, and we'd walk. We'd be at a different casino, and he'd go, well, let's go see if Legs is working. I was like, okay, well, let's go see if Legs is working. So we go to her casino and we hang out and shoot the shit for a little while. But what really got us together was I was splitting up with my ex-wife, and I got laid off in the same week. And I called up my best friend and was telling him about it. And he's like, dude, I'm in Myrtle Beach. Why don't you come to Myrtle Beach? And I'm like, sure. So I'm on my way to Myrtle Beach. Then I call my casino host and say, hey, you got any cruises available? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll take that cruise. And, next week I'll be on the cruise. And I was gone for both of those. And then I just kind of meandered my way back up towards Ohio.
And on my part, he was a good tipper. So when he come in and he hadn't been in there for 3 weeks, I was like, where you been?
So I told her this whole story, and she goes, well, why didn't you take me with you? And I said, well, I didn't have your number. And she went on break and gave me her phone number. And
oh my God.
There it is.
Dang.
Yeah.
There we go.
Great story.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Were you from Ohio, Tony?
Yeah, I'm not from the beginning, but I've lived in Columbus, Ohio for about 30 years.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm in
gamble,
Marion,
Tony?
so just a little farther north than Columbus.
Where at?
In Marion.
Oh, I know just north of Delaware. Yeah, I know where you're at.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I know exactly where you're at. What'd you say? Do I still gamble?
Do you still gamble?
Oh,
crap.
Like
legitimate gamble, not gamble on, buying a grocery store.
No, they just flew us out to Reno.
We just took a free trip out to Reno because there was a rabbit convention and Lysandra raises rabbits to show. And I had an offer from Caesars for a trip to Reno. So we utilized that trip for her to go see rabbits and for me to hit a craps table for a few days.
Yeah, we don't have a craps table, like a table games casino within like 3 hours of us, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing because I would be there a lot. I know, but no, I do not gamble regular.
Now he just gambles on whatnot.
So let's back up a little bit.
And I love
you raise rabbits, you show rabbits, and there's rabbit conventions.
Absolutely,
these are like rabbits, like Bunny.
You want to go get a rabbit?
The biggest rabbit, the national convention has about 30,000 rabbits every year.
Let me get to get a rabbit.
So
do they just start off with 2 by like in the beginning of the convention and it turns into 30,000 or
no, you have to pre-enter. No. Actually the third day of convention I walked in and there's just like bunnies humping everywhere and I'm like, what is going on? No, you pre-enter so they know how many rabbits are coming beforehand and you can't bring extra rabbits into that showroom.
No pun intended, right?
Yeah.
They breed like rabbits.
So Are they the big floppy eared, like the big ones that,
Like they look like puppy dogs?
So
like kitty cats?
my
What was it?
rabbits are farm animals. So they are used for farm purposes. We
Okay.
use them for meat.
Whatever ones are not worth showing
Go in the crock pot.
should be meat.
Okay, I got it.
But yes, so they are big butch
Floppy.
rabbits. I'm a big butch girl, so I have to have big butch rabbits. And I raise an endangered breed of rabbits called the Beveren. They were originally developed in the 1800s in Belgium, and one of the first domesticated rabbit breeds to be brought to the United States.
Sorry, this hair's annoying. I got to put it back up.
I'm telling you, I understand that completely. Yeah, I'd rather have my hair in a ponytail any day.
I'd rather have it cut.
I thought about it. I was like, oh man, I should have took a shower and did my hair. And I'm like,
Nah.
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 Not at the After Dark episode. Brethren
Right.
Rabbits. These are it right here?
oh yeah, there's a Beveren.
Oh, you'll see.
Some of 'em.
You'll see one here in just a moment. I've got one of her boys bringing one in.
Oh, that's a champagne detergent right there.
Oh. That's cool. So I know that you
Sounds
mentioned,
bougie.
and we'll get to the whatnot questions, but this is like scratching my brain.
We're going down a rabbit hole.
Oh,
Literally.
Bump.
Good one.
You guys mentioned on Brian and Tracy's podcast that you guys were living off the grid for a long time.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, so I have two failed businesses before this one, and they were farms. I started out with a market gardening and utilizing a lot of elderly people that they couldn't go out and landscape and do flower beds. So I would come up to them and knock on the door and be like, hey, I noticed your flower bed needs a little help. I'll do it for free. And we started with culinary herbs, and I would redo their flower beds with culinary herbs, and then I would go harvest them and take them to the farmers markets.
This is all pre-Tony.
Yeah, this is pre-Tony.
Pre-Tony.
Tony.
Oh.
Then I was renting 35 acres up in Indiana outside of Cincinnati, and I had cattle and I had hogs, I had rabbits, chickens, turkeys, had a CSA, sold raw milk. And but the guy was getting older and he kept talking about selling the property I was renting, and I'm like, what am I going to do with all these animals? And so I couldn't afford to buy
no.
I couldn't afford to buy land in Indiana up there at Cincinnati. And so
What's that
I
one's
started
name?
looking around.
Is that a good one? Is that not
Oh,
dinner tonight?
Like
he's a little jumpy.
Um,
This is one of the mamas.
he looks delicious.
Yeah.
They are. Rabbit time.
So I started looking for land, and I found down here in Lake Cumberland, Kentucky, if you know where that is. It's a gorgeous area, but it's very poor. And I found 35 acres, paid 50 grand for them, owner financed by a Mennonite Amish. I even traded 4 head of cattle for half of my down payment on it.
Yep.
And moved, took about a year, moved my kids off grid. And I think about 2 years later, you came around, and he's a city boy in Columbus. And I spent a winter up there, and it was like 4 degrees for 3 weeks straight. I'm like, this ain't it. If you want this to work, you got to come to Kentucky.
2 weeks later, I moved to Kentucky and started living Deliverance style off grid.
Wow.
And were you guys still running your reselling business, like with no electricity and like all this
So
stuff?
we had a storage unit that we started with in Monticello when he moved down, and we lived off grid, right? So there's no electricity. So we would print our labels at the library at 10 cents a pop. And that's how we started. Eventually,
Used our car charger to keep the phones charged
Yep.
and the laptop.
literally ran a $60,000 a month eBay business on our phone and the library.
Yeah.
No excuses.
No.
There's none.
That's right.
That's
No,
right.
Hey.
I'm looking at you, Dan and Demand. No,
Hey, if you want to do something, you can figure a way to make it
Where
work.
there's a will, there's a way.
100%.
And eventually we upgraded, like we bought a generator, right?
After the yeast.
Yeah, after the yeast. We bought a generator and we started operating that way. But yeah, a long time of printing, going to the library and printing our labels. What'd you do?
And then you bought a solar powered thermal printer, and now you're in good shape.
yeah.
No, we
I know.
what we bought. Well, we paid off the property, and we bought a shipping container for some storage on the property.
Because we thought that would be enough space.
Yeah, no, that didn't last 3 days. And we brought a trailer onto the property so we could renovate it and actually have, a house rather than the 40-foot camper that she was living in when I met her. Yeah, it was all crazy. It was all crazy.
You guys live at the property like now?
No, we sold it. We sold it, I think, a year and a half ago. The store wasn't doing well. eBay sales were down because the store was taking all of our time. We had the property over there that was just, getting broken into, and they were just stealing everything that we had over there. So we made the decision to sell the property, which we both still regret.
Mm-hmm. Once we moved our business to Somerset, which is, I don't know, only about 25 minutes away, but we work 16-hour days. And
then you got to drive 40 minutes home.
We were never getting out there, which then led to people coming on the property, breaking into that storage container and stealing stuff and destroying property. And that's what was going to continue to happen. We just didn't have time for it.
And we found a house literally right across the street from the store.
So I'll show you. We're in our house.
Wow.
And I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
This. Look at that beautiful plant too in the corner.
Yeah. But that brick building across the road there is our store.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Nice.
So when you see me looking off camera, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we're always terrible. We're always checking the store. So
what are you looking at when you look over there? You're like, oh, it's still there.
I got money being made.
We look at two things. One, is it busy or slow?
Yeah.
And if I notice that it is slow, then I would make sure that he was able to get a lot of work done in the store. And when I walk in at the end of the night, if I don't see a lot of work done in the store, I kind of go, what the hell you been doing all day?
You've been on whatnot all day.
Yeah, man, just saying, I see we're slow. What's going on over there? So, it's just nice at 2 a.m. to keep an eye on the store and make sure nobody's trying to burn the place down.
Right.
Yeah. So I got a lot of questions, but I wanted to ask this question before we dive in here.
Yeah.
And we ask this to every guest. It's become a theme, if you will. You got time management. You guys are running a grocery store. You're doing whatnot. You're raising rabbits. What are we doing here?
Working our asses off, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard. I mean, we individually work 100 to 110 hours a week. 20
flows.
It does, but the typical week is 25 hours of whatnot live, 30 to 35 hours of whatnot shipping.
Right.
Then we spend the rest of the time managing, the store, the warehouse, the employees, the product coming in, securing new product to come in. Occasionally, fun things like this, we get to take a break from the days.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, because I know that every hour of doing
trust us, we appreciate a break.
Sure. How do you not get burnout?
Yeah,
we do have burnout.
We had burnout. Part of that Reno trip was because my wife said, if we do not take a break, I am going to kill somebody. and she was literally going to kill somebody, and it was probably going to be me. Yes.
Yeah.
Almost every one of my employees was fired twice, and I was going to end up dead in the morning.
So look, when we don't have new business ventures, whatnot, we've been on whatnot for 6 months and getting back online, and we don't intend to stop at whatnot, right?
Not at all.
But any new business venture is going to require you, the owner, whether you got employees or not. It's either going to require your time or it's going to require money for employees, right?
Yeah, right.
We're not rich, so when we start new business ventures, it's our time that we're putting into it.
And we already know I don't do anything half-ass. I go all in.
Yeah. So right now we're kind of on an uptick we're working just a god awful amount of hours trying to build up whatnot to the point that we can hire more employees to start taking over some of those time consuming responsibilities. And the store was the same way. We worked that store by ourselves for a year until we could afford to hire the first employee.
Correct.
And if the hope is, honestly, we're kind of comfortable with working like 70 hours a week each. Like, I feel like I can get everything done. My kids get time, my rabbits get time, my husband gets time, and work's done at 70 hours when we're not doing new business ventures.
We would obviously like less, but I feel like if my wife keeps me at 70 hours, I won't start anything else new. I think that's her plan.
That's the
That makes sense.
I mean,
so
honestly,
what's the goal? What's the goal of all this? Like, I mean, what's the goal? Just make as much money as possible and leave it to the rabbits?
Not
what
at
are we
all.
doing?
We had two different goals, and hers is different than mine, but you go ahead.
By the hour, we actually pay our employees more than we do us. All of our profit in our business is rolled back into the business to grow it. We are leasing our the ultimate goal is to retain tangible assets that we can sell off to retire on. So we want to, we're leasing it now, but there is a lease purchase option on our warehouse at the end of it. And our hope is to purchase that. And it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but it's the nest egg, right?
But let's be real. As a reseller, if you go to liquidate your business, you only have two things that are worth money: your actual inventory and your sources. That only goes so far, and that's really not retirable income.
No.
So that's really what we're looking
at. And I look at it, I'm 17 years older than Lysandra. I am probably going to be gone before her. I'm just trying to have something set up to where when I do go, she has something that she can fall back on and not have to work 100-hour weeks and hopefully be comfortable and go do the traveling that we never got to do together, or the kayaking that I refuse to go on anymore. I love you. But I want her to be set up to where she does not have to do this for the next 40 years. That's the real goal. I'm not looking
very selfless.
I'm trying.
Goal.
I mean, I'm a workaholic as it is. I love being an entrepreneur. I love business. I love numbers. All of these things are in my wheelhouse. So am I having fun with it? Hell yes. I love it. But the end game is to have her set up that she does not have to if she doesn't want to continue it.
Yeah.
And she's already said if I die, she's just going to close everything off.
I would
open up the basement, put 2 pallets in there and sell out of the basement and just do it small time, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
As long as everything is covered and she's good to go. I'm great with that.
There's nothing wrong with anybody having their business out of their house if they don't ever want to take on the overhead cost of extra buildings and employees and things like that.
No, not at all.
There's nothing wrong with it. It comes with a lot of stress. And I've said it and I'll say it again. If something happened to him tomorrow, I would close the store, close the warehouse, fire my employees, and I would select my favorite product to resell and what's most profitable and work it out of my basement.
Yeah.
I would.
What is your favorite?
And I don't blame her. Sorry.
What is your favorite product to resell?
What is your favorite product?
So it depends, right? For sure. I like vintage stuff and glass and things like that, but I hate shipping it.
Correct. And we love glass. I mean, obviously you see a lot of this is hers. Some of that's mine. I collect uranium. I have like 600 pieces of uranium glass. I love it. I love it.
But honestly, for shipping purposes, selling per ease of shipping, profit margins, and ease of selling, health and beauty all day.
Yeah.
Unless she gets lucky and gets into like jewelry and watches and small things like that command a better price and still easy to ship, but still fun to search for when you're looking for the other vendor.
I would highly consider like little jewelry and like high end jewelry and coins. That's a good little business.
Oh,
It's great business. Anyway, sorry.
that's great.
Easy to
So-
ship too. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. Tony, Lysandra. So here are my questions. Here's one of my questions. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, okay, enough of rabbit talk. Let's get down to the nitty gritty here. You know, the people that are, you know, watching this to get bigger on Whatnot. How do you grow on Whatnot? People are listening right now. How do I get followers? Now, granted, followers don't necessarily equate to buyers.
Correct.
Yeah.
But how would you answer that question? Two-part question. How do you get followers? How do you get buyers?
Forget everything that we talked about earlier about paying for promotion, doing all the other stuff, right? You want to get followers, you want to get people in your show, you got to have a show. Go live.
Have a show.
Yeah, do it.
Go live.
Just do it.
Don't be scared.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be worried. Don't worry about the money of it. Go live.
Mm-hmm.
When we are live, even today, not promoting a show, when we are live, we average anywhere between 50 and 100 new followers per hour. Per hour.
No, it's not 100. It's about 50.
If
Unless we're in
What
a
was
new
that?
category.
Yeah. Our last show on last Thursday, it was our first free shipping show.
Holy cow.
We did not promote that show. We did not do giveaways. All we had was the gift of free shipping. And we had 123 orders in that show, and 60 of them were brand new customers.
Not
Not
orders. They were shipments. So we had 123 people that bought in that show from us.
Sorry, shipment.
61 of them were new buyers.
New
That is
Nice.
huge
That's
for an
a
established
huge
seller.
number, for especially for us. I mean, we typically average 15 to 20 in a 5-hour show. 60 was insane. What is that? Tony goes ham. Whatever.
You know, I'm going to
Kristen, that's a really good drawing.
It was fantastic.
I'm going to add to that. And I'm not going to talk about giveaways or promotions, but the biggest thing is you got to be entertaining.
Yes.
You can't be the person like this. Like what they say. Or
You
can't be complaining about that you're not getting sales. The amount of people that come into my seller support show and they're like, no one comes in my room. I'm like, well, they're coming, but you're not captivating and holding their attention. Everybody's got TikTok brain. Everybody. And then, but then I'll go into their shows. I'll go bookmark them. I'm on incognito mode, so they don't know I'm in there. And the entire time I'm in there, they're complaining about not getting sales. Well, no one wants to hear that. You are putting on a show.
Whatnot is replacing people's TV watching, folks.
It
Somebody
is.
who is a big seller, and I hate to say, I can't remember his name. I watched him and he said his motto is ABS. Always
be
selling. I know who you're talking about.
I know exactly who that is.
And,
you got ABS, always be selling, RTS, run that shit. Look.
Yep. So
Look.
have stuff running at all times.
Yeah.
Put product on the screen, be entertaining,
always
and
be
run
on.
lives. That's it. That at its basic, that is it. Go live, be entertaining, and run that shit.
Run it.
What are your thoughts on giveaways? Do you feel that you should be running giveaways all the time when people are coming in, or what's your? Oh, I love this.
We love giveaways.
We disagree.
We actually disagree on it. So, Lysandra is of the mindset that we want to stop giveaways.
We have our following. We have our base following to build off of, and I think it's better to grow organically from this point.
I like the giveaways. Number one, as a customer going into shows, I love a shot at winning a giveaway, right? I try all day long. If I'm in shows,
He's a givey goblin.
I'm a givey goblin. But then if I do win something, I'll either buy something or I'll throw a tip in to cover shipping. I just want to win the stupid giveaway. I mean, come on. I love it. But
we know you like free stuff. Yeah.
Of course we do. One of these days I'm going to win some huge gift card or a car, and I'm going to be happy as hell. But the reality for us, as much as I love them and she doesn't, we give away the Mighty Patches in our show, every show, because those 2 truckloads we got in the fall had upwards of 20,000 boxes of Mighty Patches. We had 20,000 of them, and we did start selling them, but we saturated the market.
Hey, and we put them suckers on the bay. Yeah, right there.
Yep, right there. There it is.
We got them in the bags too.
But
on the
they're
giveaway bag.
oversaturated on the bay, so we were having to find ourselves having to promote like crazy on the bay.
Yep.
To even get noticed in the 5,000 listings of them.
Yep.
We put them on Whatnot. They did fine for the first 3-4 weeks, but then diminishing value and returns and the numbers started going down. And the first time we sold a 5-pack lot, which is worth $60, it went for $1. And we said, never again.
Done.
They're worth more to us as a marketing component to our show than they were selling them. Because at $1, we're losing money all day. If I'm going to lose money, I should get something out of it.
And we get the giveaways. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blind to the fact that people in other shows and we buy product. We buy lots of product to the point where we need to kind of stop buying so much, but we buy product on Whatnot. But I go in for the giveaways. I just love them. So we're not blind to the fact that we get people who sit in our room for giveaways. We're not blind. We know this.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But
you're in my room. I'm selling 60 auctions of health and beauty in an hour. I guarantee you within 3 to 5 hours, I'm going to find you something that you're going to use, that you use, and you will spend $3 to $5 for it. I will find you something. And I guess that's my hope.
The same guy who gave that other advice about the ABS, I had just done on a different platform giveaways of really nice handbags, brand new, couple $100 worth, and I did multiples of them. My problem was everybody came in, and every person who won the giveaway has yet, except for one, to ever buy a product from me.
Correct.
Ever. So they are only in there for the giveaways. And the guy I watched, his recommendation, he doesn't do giveaways. He said, when you get rated by people, he's like,
do a $1 drop.
Nothing. Yeah. Followers mean nothing. It's just a number. You need buyers. And so for him, what he does when he gets rated, he takes something from his buy it now, a good product, and says, hey, this weed, we're going to run it for $1.
Runs it for $1. Yep.
As a promotion to like, hey, thank you. Gets the people in there. It's like, wow, he's willing to run this great item for $1. Like it's worth it to hang out here, because a follower means crap.
It does. So, and
go ahead,
statistically speaking, across, I think we've done like 160, 170 shows at this point on Whatnot. Statistically, about 20 to 30% of the people that win giveaways do not purchase.
Correct.
And that's part of it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's still based off of, we sell consumable products and things that you already use in your everyday life. And if I can hold you for 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to find something you already use and you're going to save a buttload of money on.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't necessarily promote giveaways in my seller support. You don't need to do them to be successful. We just happen to have an opportunity that, and really it was a loss that we were trying to turn into an opportunity.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And I love your giveaways that you tell people that if they buy other stuff, you're going to give them the box. If not, you put it in an envelope.
Absolutely.
That's good.
We lost so much money, so much money by not shipping those Mighty Patches in the plain white envelope.
But then we would
get Lysandra. Yeah, I know.
Get negative reviews,
but then
because I'd put it in a poly mailer, right? You want it. I'm paying for the product and shipping. I'm going to ship it the cheapest way possible. And they would complain that the box was
the box got crushed. I'm like, what do you want?
Do you need the box?
I still get negative feedback for people getting them in a plain white envelope. It's not sanitary that you sent the strips. They're sealed in the package, but it's not sanitary. You shipped it without the box. And
you say right in your thing that you aren't shipping it in the box.
100%. And it's a giveaway. What do you care?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I don't want to get
Yeah.
upset over.
Do you
But, you
do
know.
you feel
Look at
like
that
when you
part.
run a giveaway that does something to the show to where it's kind of like more eyes see your show? Like I feel like maybe that's just me, that there's like something in the algorithm to where when you run a giveaway, more people come in your show.
So
Maybe that's just me.
I was going to answer that before you even asked it when Lysandra was talking here. While I love giveaways, right? And eventually we're going to run out of Mighty Patches. Whatnot's algorithm is a mixture of many things, right?
Tell us. Give us the
One,
keys.
giveaways are in the algorithm to push your show up. Running auctions is in the algorithm to push your show up.
Mhm.
Parts in the chat is in the algorithm.
Your chat.
Your chat is in the algorithm. So if you're not communicating back and forth, if they're not active, you lose that push up of the algorithm. All of those things are in the algorithm. Does paying for the promotion also do it? Yes, that's a huge weight on the algorithm. But all of those things exist on Whatnot because they are part of the algorithm to push your show up, which is more important than ever in today's day when I counted 4 nights ago, there was literally 120 beauty shows starting between 6 and 7 p.m. in 1 hour.
That we're starting. That
Just
doesn't
starting.
count who was already live.
Back when we started in
Crazy.
December, there was 20 beauty shows in an entire night.
Yeah.
And now we're getting over 100 an hour.
Wow.
You have to differentiate yourself some way
Yeah.
to raise up above all of everyone else.
Which is why we've been testing out the free shipping.
Yes.
Because I know the Mighty Patches are going to run out at some point, and Tony is of the mindset he wants to move to gift cards. I don't. I think there's diminishing value there, and if we start with $10 gift cards, it's eventually going to have to go to 20,
to 100 and more.
turn into 50 and 100. I don't want that.
And I know that.
So we've been testing out. We're going to have our second free shipping show Thursday. What's today? Tuesday. Yeah, Thursday.
Tuesday.
And we've been testing that out to kind of see if it's good enough to still bring in people and retain people and to move away from that giveaway mindset. We will never get rid of our buyer giveaway though.
No, I'll always keep the chub.
Yeah. I love the buyer giveaway.
Yeah. Most people do. I mean, we've literally had people stay in our show for 8 to 10 hours waiting for the chub box.
Everybody loves my chub.
Everybody loves Lysandra's chub.
Oh,
Wait. No, we are on the after dark portion. Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say that helped you guys gain such a quick following in your 6 months of Whatnot?
It was money. It literally was money.
Money.
Right. And it was the fact that we were an established business. We were already at a level that we were buying in big bulk. The amount that we bought is the reason we looked at Whatnot in the first place and why it works so well within our business model. We're a volume seller. But we started out the gate promoting every show. I bought sponsored giveaways. We did our own giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like I said, our marketing budget the first month was $3,000. Our second and third month, it was $2,000. Right now it sits about $1,000. That includes purchasing things in other people's shows too.
Correct.
What's a sponsored giveaway?
If I came into your show, you would have a giveaway for purchase, and we bought it, and you sponsor. You
bless the chat.
Yeah, bless the chat with a gift card of some sort.
Like Paul does.
Yeah.
And then you give us our 5 minutes in your room of promotion. We've done that in many rooms, many different rooms. Because our feel is that eventually we want to sell many different lines of product, right? We're doing health and beauty.
We want to be a home shopping network.
I want 24/7 QVC on my channel. Come on. we've done a little bit of jewelry, we've done food, we eventually are going to have some general merchandise, the whole thing, vintage, everything.
We have our first vintage show on Paul's Prime Time Raid Train on Sunday.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. That's
Yes.
exciting. That's fun.
So
Okay.
we're trying to dabble in a little bit of everything. So, it's our thought is that if we go and get some of those followers in the other categories, they will potentially bookmark those shows, and I don't have to start my first vintage show with 3 people in it.
So our success, we had a large marketing budget. We purposely go into each show as a show of entertainment value. We are there to entertain the people in our rooms.
Wait,
Yep.
Real entertainment. I don't change me because of whatnot. She does not change her. We are ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still entertainment.
And we had the inventory to back it up. So I think it was a combination of all 3 of those things.
I agree.
That's one of
Ken,
the
what's
things.
your question? I see those hamsters in there working hard.
Well, you had said when you first started how you grew, because that was kind of already in your business model, and you had that inventory. And I think the level that you're at in the growth is something that a lot of us or a lot of people aspire to get to that level. Because that's a big commitment. Like Angie had talked earlier that she's having trouble finding pallets and she wants to maybe go down that direction, but not there yet. What is your best advice for the guy that is just sourcing at the yard sales, estate sales, maybe buying some storage units, that sort of stuff? What is the people that are at that level, what is your best advice for them?
So it's, if you're doing yard sales, thrift stores, storage units, that's not my category, right? I would like it to be in my category. I want at some point to buy storage units because
Sounds like a Tony thing down the road.
because I love doing things like that. I love those little treasure hunts. That's why we loved the vintage and finding these things that are 100 years old somewhere tucked in a corner somewhere. We love this. We're not doing it, nor anytime in the near
Why do I
future.
see Tony just buying the storage unit facility? Like,
Yep.
not just
He would
getting
if he
a
had the
storage
money.
unit.
Because I
He's gonna buy the
absolutely
whole
would.
damn
No,
thing.
actually, funny enough,
Funny enough.
there are storage units on our property where a warehouse is.
Yes.
And right now they're being used by the owner for his own stuff because he's building a house, but we are in talks with him of taking those.
I'm trying to work a deal, man. I want those storage units.
No.
But what I would say to them is if this is what you're doing, let's say you're just thrifting and yard sailing, okay? 1, how much money do you want to make? How much money are you making? And how much time do you have? Are you making what you want to make? Do you want to grow it into a 7-figure business? Do you have the time to grow into purchasing whole storage units or multiple storage units? Do you have an outlet for all of that bigger stuff in these units that you are not going to be selling on Whatnot? What are you going to do with all of that stuff? And I will tell you this, there's a seller, B Squared Trading Post. If you guys know them, you do. But if not, you should look them up. They're great. And they worked out, and they've said it in their show, so I'm not saying anything out of place. They purchase a storage unit. They take out the things that they want, and they give everything else to someone who sells it at a peddler's mall.
And they clean out the rest of the storage unit.
And they clean it all out and take care of it. They still leave them some good items in there that they know are going to make some money.
Yeah.
There you go, Ken.
But it's a fantastic model on not touching any of those big items, right? And I would just say that someone who's doing something like that should work out something similar to be able to grow, because not everybody has a 7,200 square foot warehouse that they can just fill up anytime they want, right?
We got that for Whatnot. We didn't have that before.
Correct.
Okay,
Go ahead.
that was really long-winded.
Sorry.
My suggestion
Tonyism.
to new sellers,
Expected.
the people like we were 6 years ago at working out of a storage unit, you don't have to do dollar starts to be competitive, but if you have the budget to lose that money on those items, it will go a long way if you can afford to lose money for the first couple shows.
Okay.
You don't have to though. The reality is for most of the people doing dollar starts, things don't go for $1. So to be competitive price wise, you don't necessarily have to do dollar starts. It's harder to gain traction as a new seller though, because I can't remember what the term is with auctions and when you bid on an item in your head subconsciously, that is your item. And you
Oh,
will
yeah.
automatically pay a little bit more for it because for that brief moment of time before someone outbid you, that was yours.
That ownership mentality of what
Yeah,
that makes
you
sense.
have that ownership.
And that was a big reason we started with dollar starts, but you don't necessarily have to start with dollars to be competitive. Going back to B Squared, he talks about the rite of passage, and you can make that passage two ways: money, which is what we chose,
Mhm.
or time.
Which
And
is also what we chose.
you grind it away, you get in other people's shows. Maybe you purchase some things and support them, but you make a name for yourself through networking and going live a live lot and consistently.
Consistently. for
Work
sure.
what's best times for you. If Thursday evenings are best, you do every Thursday evening. If 3:00 in the morning on a Tuesday works best, that's when you build your audience.
So you think once a week is okay? You can still build your business.
If you're consistent about it, yes.
And do you think that? I mean, a $2 start's not gonna. Is there a big
If you can do
difference?
$2 starts, you can do dollar starts. I'm not even going to sugarcoat
And I
that.
agree with that.
Okay.
If you absolutely do not want to do dollar starts, the minimum should be 3 or 5. 3 is even kind of pushy. But if you can do $2 starts, you can do a dollar start. What's the difference? What's the difference?
16.
Well, there you
cents.
go. Well, guys,
The
we appreciate
mentality
it.
is
We
better on the
definitely need to
dollar
have you
starts.
back on because there's so many questions
Yeah.
that we want to answer. But guys, thank you
I
so much.
tried
for
not to
coming
be
on.
too long-winded, Ray.
Oh, you're good.
No,
You're good.
It was
The
very entertaining.
We appreciate it.
systems are in full effect. So, thank you so much.
What?
It's when I start the music.
It's when you
It is.
music.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tony and Lysandra,
Thank
for
you.
coming on. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
Make
us.
sure to follow them on all their reselling adventures. If you didn't catch this episode or last episode, make sure to catch it. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment. If you have any questions for Tony and Lysandra, put them down in the comments. We might have to have you guys back.
Yeah.
And
I'd do this again.
there you go. Follow
Yeah.
all of us on all of our reselling adventures. All of our stuff is going to be linked in the description below. Thank you so much, Tony and Lysandra, one more time.
Bye,
My name is
guys.
Ray.
Thank you.
All right.
Kristen.
I'm Angie.
I'm Joe.
Brendan, that's me.
I'm Ken.
That's
I
Ken.
think we were supposed to go. That's Tony. I'm Lysandra.
There we go. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. See y'all.